char-grilled chicken, seared steak, and tender ribs. This is the ultimate barbecue battle for £25,000 in cash and the title BBQ Champ 2015.
Everyone now is getting more and more competitive.
Now is the time for me to knuckle down, ignore everything else and get on with it.
Last week, Solomon lost to Nicola in the grill-off and became the second person to leave the competition. Tonight, the 6 remaining contestants, Emma, Duncan, Nicola, Simon, Tony and Gary, take on 2 more fiery challenges. First, they face the demanding task of creating desserts and drinks on the barbecue.
Oh my God, almost. Crack on.
Then they head to the City of London for their epic low and slow location challenge. After which, the bottom 2 will go head-to-head in the grill-off and the loser will leave the competition for good. The men to impress are our judges, Adam Richmond and Mark Blatchford. This is BBQ Champ.
Welcome back. You're our 6 remaining competitors, which means you're all still in with a chance of walking away with that life-changing cash prize of £25,000, as well as the title BBQ Champ 2015.
This is the week that I want to expect the unexpected. I want people to look at your dishes and go, there's no way that came off a barbecue.
It's time for your BBQ HQ challenge. You've got 75 minutes to produce your most decadent dessert and drink.
We want to see a dessert and a cocktail, both made from your barbecue.
You've got some really delicate flavours and fruit to work with today. And if you do not control your heat, you could destroy your dish in seconds.
Barbecuers, please go to your stations. Today, BBQ HQ has been transformed into a Willy Wonka paradise of sweet dreams. The food wall has been stocked full of the best fruit from around the world.
Your time starts now!
But part about being the person behind the barbecue at your backyard is you are the barbecue champ. To be able to be the person that can deliver not just the mains, not just the starters and the sides, but everything from the drink to the dessert right there on your grill, that's where cooking becomes magic and a meal becomes something special.
I love doing this type of cooking. Barbecue is just like an oven. If you get it to the right temperature, you can do anything in it.
The barbecue's brilliant for desserts. I'm really, really confident today. I've got a brilliant dessert.
This is not my area of expertise at all.
I'm not much of a sweet tooth. I'd much rather have a cheese ball than a pudding.
Duncan won last week's BBQ HQ with his Asian-inspired giant kebab.
My barbecue style is definitely experimental. I like to bring in flavours from all different influences around the world. My wife being Asian, I bring in a lot of flavours from over there.
Duncan's love of Asian ingredients extends itself to his dessert with tropical flavours of coconut, pineapple and banana.
Hey Duncan, how's it going?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you.
Tell us what you're doing.
I am making a banoffee pie with coconut in there, so I'm calling it a banoffee pie.
All I hear is blah, blah, blah. Get to the drink. What's in the drink?
Yeah. And my drink, I'm making a mojito with grilled pineapple in it.
Have you made this before?
I've made this once before. It didn't go to plan. It didn't set in time.
Do you need any more digestions?
No, everything.
Good, okay, cool. Thank you. Thanks so much. I want to hear it. Well, this one's for you. This is just a camera. There you go. Enjoy. There you go.
Tony found his barbecue passion cooking for his large family and always sets the bar high for himself.
I've been stressed out with my kebab. I've been probably too jovial when I was cooking on the beach. My tactics for carrying on in the competition are to just get my head down and get on with it. This is make or break today. It's either going to be perfect or just go in the bin.
Today he's pushing the barbecue boundaries by preparing a rhubarb eclair.
You're doing choux pastry?
Yes.
And are you feeling confident with that?
Not since you come up here and went, you're doing choux pastry on your grill?
Are you at all concerned with the opening and closing that you're going to diffuse the heat?
No, I'm not, because once it's in, and then I move on to my open grill, and I'm also going to spin some toffee. I'm going to try and spin some toffee.
Mate, you've got it all to do.
How long would it take to cook and to proof and to rest choux pastry?
To do the whole thing, about an hour?
We have an hour, 15 minutes. Oh, my gosh.
Nicola struggled last week with her time management
Right, I need to cook.
and scraped through the grill off.
I'm actually going to start crying now.
But she's ready to fight another day and is bringing some family inspiration into her dish. Nicola's preparing rhubarb and custard s'mores with a rhubarb vodka cocktail.
So the traditional s'more, you know what a s'more is. Traditionally, it's campfire fare. Usually we do graham cracker. You guys have your digestives here, roasted marshmallow and chocolate.
My sisters went to camp in America every year and they came home with this whole s'more thing. And we're going to make like a white chocolate custard with fresh cream.
You need every minute you got, so we're going to leave you alone to get on with it.
Yeah, but
Good
I'm
luck.
going to take your bowl.
Gary wants to do the best for his family. His confidence grew last week after being singled out for his sea bass.
What I'm going to do is just keep listening to the judges' comments. I've picked up loads over the last 4 challenges from what they've been saying. Just put that into my dishes going forward. I do pancakes all the time and crepes with my girls at home. It's one of their favourite things that we make.
Hey, Gary, what are you doing today?
I'm going to do some crepes.
In Brooklyn, we call them crepes.
That's it. I'm going to fill them with a mascarpone cream. I'm doing a spun sugar little secret thing, which is a garnish. These are going to caramelise up beautifully. And I'm going to put a little touch of liquor inside as well when I serve them.
Wow, you've got it all going on again.
It's simple. It's just not in your vocabulary. You go.
It is simple. I just like to stretch out the words. My biggest challenge today is just myself. Just making sure I don't overcomplicate things.
I just heard Gary say that he says his biggest challenge this week is himself.
You know what? There is such a thing as being overconfident.
Farm owner and self-confessed human womble Simon is yet to win a challenge and has decided to push himself this week.
I'm really having to work on my presentation. It's a real steep learning curve. I love peaches. I love the sweetness of them.
Hey, Simon.
Today I'm doing grilled peaches with a salted caramel chocolate cream, toasted macadamia nuts. I'm going to make a strawberry and lime coulis, and I am smoking the grapefruit for a smoked salty dog.
Dude, what happened? Did you just like, I'm going to go to bed and I'm going to wake up and just be the Van Gogh of grilling? Like,
I've got to try and smash it out of the park.
this is a guy who the whole competition has aimed straight for the middle and hit it.
He's been consistent, and that's what's kept him in this competition.
He's listened to us and he's pushing himself. Salted caramel chocolate creams and macadamia nuts. I gotta say, you know, I'm pretty excited about it.
Emma was knocked for 6 during last week's location challenge.
Whoa.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. But her passion for barbecuing has brought her back with a vengeance.
I'm a bit sore, bit of a headache, but I'm ready to fight for another day.
Today, Emma's cooking candied bacon chocolate brownies.
Cover it all, nice brown sugar.
Accompanied by a caramel bourbon milkshake.
Hey, Emma, tell us what you are up to.
I've got the bacon on at the moment. It's covered in brown sugar and molasses just to caramelise it down.
And the bacon's going right in the brownie.
The bacon is going on top of the brownie. It's an icing crumble.
Okay, so we're talking about the icing on top. But yeah. There's alcohol involved, so please tell me some more.
I'm getting worried about you, man.
The bourbon will be in the brownie as well as in the drinks.
I just think if there's any extra bourbon, I can totally be bought.
Okay, let's see what we can arrange.
Bourbon, bacon, chocolate. You're married though, right?
I'm not married, but come and see me later.
Bourbon, bacon, and chocolate. Go, Mark. I'm good. So tell me a little more. Keep cooking.
Still to come, the teams take on their biggest challenge yet.
Oh, mamma mia.
And Simon feels the heat. Welcome back to BBQ Champ. Our 6 remaining contestants are battling it out for the sweet spot that will take them one step closer to £25,000. 30 minutes have passed, and the barbecuers are busy rising to the demands of this week's dessert and drinks challenge.
I have to come and speak to you because whatever you're doing, it smells good, my friend.
Thank you.
It's that.
Real pineapple.
Oh, my goodness. How's it all going?
It's going all right. I thought I maybe had simplified things too much. So what I'm doing now is dipping the bananas in coconut milk. Get some.
It smells unbelievable.
Some nice soft brown.
Who do you cook this for, the family?
Yeah, for my wife and her family.
I'm just going to check that bit there's okay. Crack on.
Thanks.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
This is something I'd try and serve in a restaurant if I had one.
With the barbecues at temperature, it's time for the contestants to start cooking.
Next time you see him, they'll be beautiful.
And he's in now for 20 minutes.
Whilst Gary and Duncan are hoping to end on a sugary high, this dessert challenge is proving tricky for the other contestants.
This might be it for me. I'm not having it.
It doesn't look cooked. If I put it out thinner, try and make it easier to cook.
Oh my God. The choux pastry isn't rising as quick as I'd hoped, so I'm panicking a little bit now.
5 minutes to go!
With time ticking away, the barbecuers also have to finish their cocktails.
I'm just getting the leaves ready for my drink now. It's going to be like basil, and I'm going to make a puree out of this rhubarb here.
My grapefruit smoke for the drink. Just crush some ice and pour some vodka.
Just doing my pear puree, which is going in my Bellini.
It is Drambuie, Chambord and champagne. It's lovely. Might be the only bit that goes right today.
Got the champagne out, we're already celebrating. Woo.
Whoa, hairy sphericals.
They say you eat with your eyes. Let's just hope they've got their eyes closed this time.
I said it was make or break, and it's broke.
Oh, my hands are shaking.
Oh, peaches are still a bit too hot with the cream. It looks like disaster on a plate. Disaster.
60 seconds left!
Can I get another square plate, please?
You do not know. Oh my God, full mush.
Come on, guys, let's finish it up. Get it plated.
Get it on the plates.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up!
Wow.
Woo! Oh.
The cream is super salty. It achieves like this wonderful kind of luxurious, like thicker mouthfeel, but very light. And the coulis, I think you absolutely nailed it. Strawberries tend to get so sweet. You found a way to really bring up the smoke. And that's when I'm like, yeah, you're right. You made this dessert on a barbecue.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, well, hang on. You haven't heard it yet. You've roasted your peaches nicely. It could have been slightly more done for my taste. Visually, I think it could have done a bit of work.
The cocktail, love the smoke, love the salt. Didn't get any of the grapefruit.
I think we've got a good dessert and an all right drink.
I made a little mistake. I should have put the custard separately, because when I added the custard, it just went.
What happens to the cookies? Because to me, raw on top and a little bit overcooked on the bottom.
I actually love the idea of really bringing it to summer with the rhubarb and the basil. Here's my thing with the rhubarb. It's so fibrous. I almost wish that you had taken that rhubarb and that wonderful sour essence and made it into some kind of a puree.
Makes good sense.
I love the basil sugar, by the way. I think that that's brilliant. I think with rhubarb especially, it's so nice.
I just wish it had a look nicer.
That's
Well,
over.
we were squinting.
I recommend drinking.
Yeah, I can do with that. I've a delicious plate, but it looks very, I don't know, rustic, I would say the least.
As you can see, didn't go according to plan, but we do have a nice deconstructed brownie there.
That's a word for it.
Do you know what? The guy who came up with deconstructing things saved a lot of people's bacon.
I love him.
It's unfortunate that it looks the way it did. A mass of bacon chocolate crumbs isn't a brownie.
I think you didn't quite get the caramel right. It's just a little bit sweet.
Unless you try this milkshake, now there's not going to be any left to try. I actually really like the flavor.
So it looks fantastic.
Thank you.
For me, you know, I think texturally, it is like the ideal crumble. You're using sort of like the holy trinity of tropical fruits, you know, banana, coconut, pineapple.
It's very nutty, it's very crumbly. Just just feel it's missing a little something. I'm not sure what it is.
Maybe mixing some fresh banana with the grilled bananas.
That's a great point you make. You know, just a mushed up banana in there or something would have gone brilliantly.
I gotta say, this is triumphant.
I think the drink is refreshing.
Your crepes are delicate. The mascarpone, I love the vanilla in it.
The presentation is very nice. It's very neat, it's clean. But ginger is super powerful. My mouth is just on fire with ginger right now.
There are so many elements, I would love to see them tied together. I really like the cocktail. There's this kind of simple elegance to it. And the fact that something this pretty came out of a barbecue setup cannot be overlooked. It's kind of raw, no?
The pastry is raw, the cream's nice.
What's the tar?
That was going to be spun toffee, but
What?
it's just, yeah.
What's going on in there? What is that floating in the
It
drink?
is rhubarb that's been grilled.
See, I know that you're, obviously have a lot of skill, so I'm sure this may taste better than it looks. I have that tart rhubarb, tart raspberry, and relatively tart champagne. It ends up sort of not really working together.
It was always going to be a gutsy move. And I'm sorry to say, my friend, you haven't really pulled it off this time.
I need to up my game for the location challenge, or I'm in that grill off. Absolutely 100%.
I think to most people, the notion of making a dessert on a barbecue is impossible. But one of you embraced this challenge and executed it in an incredible way. And that person is Simon.
Well done, mate.
Oh, give me a hug, man.
Oh, yeah.
For a bloke that his idea of a dessert is crackers and cheese, I am really pumped.
The rest of you, don't worry just yet. You will get another chance to impress our judges at the next location challenge. The location challenge is called Low and Slow.
As an American, low and slow is what barbecue is ultimately about. Low, obviously cooking at a low temperature, and slow for a long period of time.
So, your Low and Slow challenge, it starts right now. Follow me. This is going to be their biggest challenge to date, as each team will have to deal with over 24 pounds of meat.
Oh, Mamma Mia.
Working as Team Low is Duncan, Emma and Gary. Team Slow is Simon, Tony and Nicola. In preparation for a 5-hour cook-off, the teams will have to dry rub their meat.
Whatever dry rub you choose one that already accentuates and brings out the flavor that are in these different meats. I've seen a lot of the competitors trimming these amazing cuts of meat. Would you trim any of them?
Not a thing. It's only going to add to the flavour. Why you would waste time trimming that fat off, I don't know.
Dry rubbing in advance of smoking helps flavour the meat, keeps it moist and creates the all-important bark. Our barbecuers are creating their own rubs from a selection of dried herbs, spices, sugars and salt. On Team Low, Gary is making a Moroccan rub for his lamb. Emma, a spicy Texas-style rub for her beef. And Duncan, an all-purpose seasoning for his pork.
That's a smart move. Tony is cutting up that big rack of beef ribs into individual ribs.
On Team Slow, Simon is doing a herby, sweet chili rub for his lamb. Tony, a simple salt, pepper and garlic rub for his beef ribs. And Nicola...
This is my secret rub. I'm putting in a lot of cumin, a lot of sea salt, black pepper and thyme. Really good flavours.
To find out how the pros do Low and Slow, Adam headed to Red's True Barbecue in Leeds.
Let's just talk about the low. What's the temperature, 225?
About 225, just depending on what we want to do. Sometimes we'll kind of start off a bit slower and then we'll jack it up towards the end if we want to put a little bit more of bark on it.
So what is the shortest amount of time you'll expose one of the cuts of meat to that low temperature smoke?
If we're doing a chicken wing, it's about 40 minutes, up to about 16, 17 hours for one of our briskets. And here we have it.
All right, now wait a minute. This is a brisket.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, are you kidding me?
So these are USDA approved, and we import them from Nebraska.
Yeah, whatever. Good night, everybody. I'm Adam Richmond. I approve this message, blah, blah, blah. I need some bread. I need some bread.
Get a little bit off there.
Oh, no, I don't want to. All right, I'll show it to you. A little bit of the fat. Beautiful, beautiful bark. I got no words, man.
Nothing?
I can only tell you it is as juicy and tender as anything you would have cut from the center. Smoky without that smoke being overwhelming. Brisket, people always confuse it with the navel cut that goes like around where the belly button would be on the calf, but the brisket's a lot more further advanced.
Yeah, shoulder.
And what it actually has, it's a muscle that works a lot. And so obviously it's tough, so you need something that's gonna break it down over time.
When that starts out, it's like an old shoe. It's like an old piece of leather.
Oh yeah, it's a saddle. You can take the toughest muscle and make it as tender as filet mignon using low and slow.
Coming up, the teams take on their own low and slow challenge in the City of London.
Welcome to the Big Smoke. We're here at Broadgate Circle in London for the final part of your challenge.
And as you can see, we got two great Big Daddy smokers that'll smoke all your meat. This is going to be about the real execution of low and slow barbecue.
Today, the contestants will be cooking on the Rolls Royce of smokers. These bad boys are custom built for when you want to smoke large quantities of meat, low and slow. Smoke from the wood is captured in the chambers, flavouring and cooking the meat.
I want to really know that I'm eating true barbecue, not just some food that's been done on a grill, because much like Shakira's hips, the meat don't lie.
Your time starts now!
This pit is that big that I could actually jump in it myself.
This is the longest, largest and hottest challenge, as the barbecuers have to feed over 100 hungry city workers.
Okay, yeah, everyone good?
Awesome, right, we're not touching these doors now for 2 hours.
Right.
Anybody touches it, I will kill you.
Emma is a veteran of the barbecue competition circuit. In fact, she told me she has one of these massive smokers on order.
I've won quite a few awards in barbecue, from desserts all the way to the top hardest meats of brisket. Everybody keeps going on about how I'm the pit mistress, you know, and this is my background, which has added a little bit more pressure. I've just put one log on and I've left one log down here.
We had a team plan, get our meat straight on the smoker, then when we want to check it, we all check it as a team.
On Team Low, Gary's making roasted cauliflower with his lamb shoulder, Emma's doing a vinegar coleslaw with her beef ribs, and Duncan's going for a classic, mac and cheese to go with his pork ribs.
Have you guys even started cooking yet?
Jesus, heavy!
Yeah. Nicky's never going to get his stuff in. Away.
So I just go up there, go on, go. Right, I've still got a load to go on, mate.
Team Slow are living up to their name. It's taken them over 20 minutes just to fit all of their meat into the smoker.
All right, guys, listen, I know that it took a lot to get about 24 pounds of meat in here, but I'm nervous that you guys really are not getting that fire high enough. Just please stay on that fire. I want you guys to have food to serve. Good luck, guys.
Thank you.
Should we put another log on?
Opening the doors of the smoker dramatically drops the temperature, slowing down the smoking and cooking of the meat. On Team Slow, Nicola's making a coleslaw with her pork ribs, Simon's doing roasted onions and sweet potatoes with his lamb shoulder, and Tony, pit beans to go with his beef ribs. Pit beans are baked beans with a tangy, smoky American twist.
Hi, Emma. You did take quite a bit of the fat off the short ribs. Is that a decision you're regretting, or are you still okay with that?
I'm okay with that, and there's still so much fat all underneath the brisket as well as in between the ribs. The barbecue, low and slow, baby.
Here are my concerns with Emma. She's got a lot of experience, but then sometimes she does things that seem relatively inexperienced. You're cooking meat for a long period of time, but you cut all that fat off from the very top of it.
I think that's a big mistake on Emma's part. She seems really confident today, maybe a little overconfident. Where's Gary?
I'm over here.
So people like Duncan and Emma, they've done a lot of this low and slow before.
Yep, but I've never ever cooked on anything like this
Right,
ever before.
And you feel confident?
Yeah, I do. I mean, to me, cooking meat's cooking meat.
Well, talk to me a little about sides. Is that what this onion's for?
Yes, I'm doing pit beans.
Pit beans?
Yes. And,
proper pit beans.
Proper pit beans.
And that's what the pancetta going to get cooked into?
Pancetta's going to go in, onion's going to go in, and then it's just vinegar, molasses, a few bits of other bits and pieces.
Tony, obviously he has to focus on redemption or he's going to find himself in that grill off. We have to see that beef cooked perfectly. We want it fall off the bone tender.
Yeah, that's right. You know, he is at the bottom of the pile at the moment. He's got to fight for his place.
So I hear that you are Prometheus, you are bringing fire to Team Slow. Are you concerned at all about keeping the fire up?
I am concerned about keeping the fire up, but also keeping a clean fire.
A lot of pressure on you. I want you to keep cooking. All right, Team Slow.
We're having a bit of a mare with the smoker at the moment. We're not getting the clean smoke that we want. I want that light blue smoke, lights go in there. That's entirely down to me. I'm the one that's preparing the fire.
What you want is that thin, kind of transparent, wispy smoke. But when you get that thick smoke, and you can even see it from here, you're gonna get that kind of bitter feeling that you don't want.
Keeps blowing clear. Yeah. We're home and dry, honey. Right. Home and dry.
There you go. From the expert herself.
Barbecuers! 2 hours down, 3 hours remaining.
Wrapping their meat in foil stops the meat taking on any more smoke flavour.
OK.
The meat will now be cooked from the heat that's already in the smoker.
There we go. Oh, yeah. Got it?
Yeah, I got it tomorrow. Wait. Get the door shut, I'll pull them in a second.
Yeah.
What time are you thinking of wrapping?
I don't know, about half an hour, 45 minutes, yeah?
Okie dokie. I'm not quite sure on what Gary's game plan is. I know he wants crispy skin, so he's wanting to leave it in there a little bit longer. I do know that as soon as he opens that thing, I'm going to be on him like a ton of bricks to make sure it's closed as quickly as possible so that the rest of the meat still gets time to cook. Your skin, are you going to be taking it off the lamb to get it crispy?
No, I'll leave it on. Look, because it was all melting down.
It's all melting down, but
yeah.
Will it go crispy or will it go rubbery because it's smoked?
What, the skin?
I've given all the advice I can. It's up to them whether they decide to take it on or not.
Ultimately, if I ask them a question and they give me an answer, it's my decision whether I want to take that on board.
Can you just hold me so I don't fall?
All right.
Yeah.
Hot over here.
I just want to make sure it's safely wrapped up and I'm keeping that juice in there.
Soon as you can, Nicola, then.
Yeah.
Mine are still in there.
I'm nearly there.
Because I need mine out.
Yeah, I know.
Lovely, lovely. You put these in foil with a little bit of juice, and it basically cooks it in its own little oven. It's like Christmas. Go.
Sorry, I need to work over here. This is ridiculous. I can't work in that smoke.
How do you think they're doing over there?
Look a bit stressy to me, don't you think?
With both teams' meat now back in the smokers, they must carefully control the temperature of the barbecue to ensure their meat is cooked to perfection.
This side where we got Duncan's ribs here and here, we're a bit low.
Well, do you want to swap with my lamb? Because I'd rather have my lamb on the low.
You sure?
Yes. Here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
I think the glaze that I've done's working really well. It's really moist, and I don't feel a need to wrap. If that's a mistake on my part, I'll live with it.
Meanwhile, Team Slow are clearly fired up for the challenge.
There. At the back there, is that yours? Are they Nick's?
Emma, she's now cutting her meat off the bone, so which means that some bones, the bones are coming out clean, some they won't, which means uneven cooking.
With less than 30 minutes to go, the guests are arriving and expecting a fantastic low and slow feast.
Gary, but are you happy? This is hard work, trying to get half-decent pieces of lamb off.
Now, Gary, he's really carving at that lamb.
To cut low and slow lamb off the bone, you need a blunt spoon, my friend.
You have 5 minutes left.
So, excuse.
But with over 24 pounds of meat to finish off and enough sides for over 100 people, both teams are feeling the pressure.
Oh man, my back's killing.
Hey, what's the matter?
I just caught myself. Where's that parsley
bread?
gone?
Where's the bread?
Parsley gone?
5,
Come on, guys.
4,
Come on.
3,
Finish up.
2,
Come on, boys.
1.
Finish up.
Time's up.
Last half an hour was brutal, just really touch and go at the end there. You know, I literally had to work to the last minute.
Jesus, it was a rush, it was hectic. You know, got it all out there in the end.
So, what do the city workers think?
It's really soft and succulent and juicy.
The mac and cheese is by far the best. Absolutely fantastic.
What they've produced is absolutely first class.
Hi, beef.
We had the beef ribs, which I thought was amazing. I haven't tasted anything like it.
But the ultimate decision lies with the judges.
Should we start with Team Slow?
Okay.
Tony.
See how that fat has caramelized a little bit and it's juicy? Because he's cooked it at that right temperature. The fat actually almost is like a gravy. And I love the pit beans.
He's got a great texture on the outside. The flavour from his simple rub has punched through.
One of the best compliments I could possibly give Nicola is this. I've lived more than a third of my life in the South, and one of my favorite textures, barbecue-wise, is where both the charred bark and the rich meat combine with a good, like, crunchy slaw. And I have that right here in London.
Good bark, good meat, nice coleslaw, not so great sauce.
Let's move on to Simon's.
That's awesome. I haven't even tried the lamb yet. That is terrific.
Straight away, it looks great, colours are great, smells awesome. He's really nailed the cooking on the lamb. I love the softness of that veg.
It was so clever of him to use the lamb juice as flavoring in the potato and in this onion. I like his rub, that you can still taste it even after 5 hours of smoke. And it has juiciness. You can see it pulled, like you said, it should pull apart with a spoon.
Yeah.
I'm just using my fingers.
Is that spoonable?
Yeah,
I think so.
Let's move over to Team Low. Gary's lamb and his side of cauliflower.
I mean, I don't know. I think it's really, really undercooked. For all that caramelization he put on it, dude, that is not appealing to me.
The lamb, I'm not really feeling those spices coming through. The cauliflower, well, there's very little flavour in it. The lamb, unfortunately, isn't cooked enough.
Let's go to Emma's dish.
Emma's our pit mistress. You know what? It's a bit dry. I guess I'm disappointed for her. I wish she had kept a little of that fat on to baste it. And the slaw, I think she absolutely killed.
This is the final member of Team Low, Duncan's dish.
I would like to see the meat flaking off a little bit more. There's a reasonable good bark in there, but the smoke hasn't really penetrated.
I like his rub, but I feel that the doneness on the whole is not really where you want pork. I think the choice of doing mac and cheese, good classic barbecue side, his execution pretty good. I might have wanted a little seasoning.
Team Low, Team Slow. Well, you certainly made the city smoking hot today. But as always, it's what the judges think that counts.
Cooking low and slow, it ain't easy, but only one team can emerge victorious. And today that team was Team Slow.
Yes!
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
My fellow judge and I are in agreement that the person that impressed us the most in this low and slow challenge was Tony. Congratulations, brother.
I can't believe after such a hideous low yesterday, I'm on such a high now.
It's unbelievable. Feeling really, really proud that our team won the challenge. It really means a lot to me.
As a team, I think we worked really well together. The only thing that may have let us down was Gary's lamb. I think I've done enough to not be in the grill off, but I really don't know.
Obviously, we made a decision as a team. I allowed the others to move their food into the hot spot, so it seems that a good deed has backfired for me. If I'm in the grill off, I'm in the grill off. I just have to show my skills there and try and move on that way.
After the break, the next barbecuer leaves the competition for good.
The third person to leave Barbecue Champ is...
Back at Barbecue HQ, the judges must decide who's going head-to-head in this week's grill-off.
All right, Gary, the dessert that he made looked beautiful. Basically, with all the stuff he put on that plate, 2 flavors. Overwhelmingly pear or overpowering ginger. And I almost think that he's really not as clever as he thinks. Then look at Low and Slow. The lamb was undercooked. The cauliflower wasn't really cooked at all.
Gary starts every challenge brimming with confidence, and therefore he doesn't really put that extra effort in. So, Tony, what happened with his dessert? You know, that was an unmitigated failure.
And to come from the guy that was, to me, sort of a front runner in this competition blew my mind.
Did the way he performed in Low and Slow outweigh how he performed in the dessert challenge?
No, Emma, the dessert. That plate, the whole execution of it was a major, major disaster.
You know, I loved the chocolate and the bacon kind of combo, but the delivery and the execution just let her down.
There is such potential. I just don't know if she's been living up to it in a way that can really keep her in a competition with as much talent as we have in Barbecue Champ.
The first person in this week's grill-off is... Gary.
And that other person this week is... Emma.
So, Gary, Emma, you're going head-to-head in this week's grill-off. The rest of you, you're safe for now.
I'll roll with the punches and just fight as hard as I can to stay in the competition.
I really want it bad, so yeah, I'm going to do everything I can to try and win.
Emma, Gary, the winner of this grill-off challenge will still be in with a chance of winning that fantastic cash prize of £25,000 and the title Barbecue Champ 2015. The loser will have to hang up their tongues and leave the competition for good.
For this week's Grill Off, we have literally taken your grills off because this week we are going to have you cook 3 cuts of steak right on the coals of burning wood, dirty style. Now, in addition, we also would like you to create an original steak sauce.
We would like you to cook the bavette medium rare, the fillet steak a perfect medium, and the bone-in ribeye well done. Now, that might surprise you, but cooking well done is harder than you think.
Your 45 minutes starts now.
The plan is to get this marinated big ribeye here and then get it onto coals as quickly as possible.
It's just cooking steak, except on a grill it's on wood, so that's what I'm going to do.
What's the advantage of doing it on the heat source as opposed to the grill?
If you can imagine the kind of flavours you get when the food is indirectly cooked over the flames, imagine how much more intense those flavours are going to be when it's cooked right on top.
Can you cook on any kind of wood?
Because you do not want to be getting briquettes. They have chemicals in them.
Lots of chemicals, yeah.
They're going to make your meat taste bad.
I'm just putting some butter on it, keep it nice and moist, and I'm just rubbing it with a bit of garlic as well.
We want a good sauce for 3 different meats, all with different cooking times, so this is going to be really tough.
So I'm doing a chimichurri sauce, which is a classic sauce, go with steak, red wine vinegar, lemon juice, shallots, chilli, parsley.
I've put some garlic onto smoke, so we're going to have smoked garlic. I'm going to wilt down the shallots in some butter and then roast off some mushrooms afterwards. And then that's going to be mixed with Worcestershire sauce, some bovril and whatever else I can think of sticking in.
medium fillet now. Gary's just put his on. A good fillet will have some marbling going through it, but it's a very expensive, very lean cut indeed.
How would you approach cooking it to a medium in a dirty steak challenge?
The key to this as well is to create a flat cooking surface.
It's all going all right at the moment. I'm just trying to get some heat in this flat piece of wood.
So I'm just trying to seal in the flavours first. Just give it a char on each side.
Barbecuers, 25 minutes have elapsed.
Now, I'm concerned that the log he's cooking his fillet steak on isn't doing a good enough job. I would get rid of that log and I would get them directly on the glowing coals.
I want to try and get them off soon so I can rest my steaks.
For resting, what do you think is a good rule for a home cook? I was told about half the time you cook it.
About that, yeah. The longer you can rest it, the better.
Basically, all my meat's off. I need to let it rest for at least 10 minutes, so that's why I've took it off now.
There's nothing saying that I can't make a dark, creamy, cheesy sauce. I could be completely wrong, and it could taste absolutely awful. But at least I know I've gone out trying my hardest.
Blue cheese and drippings in one sauce. Let's not forget, when she first got here, the first thing Emma cooked us was that Côte de Boeuf that wasn't done right. So I think she's looking for a little redemption.
Has Emma overcooked her bavette?
I forgot that it was actually on there, so that might be a bit well done. But hey, that's what happens when you take your eye off the ball.
Barbecuers, you're down to the final 5 minutes.
Sauce is done.
That's the one I want.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tongues down. Grill off is over. Please bring your food forward for judging. Shall we start with the bavette that you asked for medium rare?
Yep.
All right, so for medium rare, what are we looking for?
The centre needs to be quite pink and rare. So, should we go with the medium fillet now?
What are we looking for?
A nice pink flesh on the inside.
Let's go on to the bone-in ribeye, which you asked to be well done. So what are you looking for, Mark?
Okay, I am looking for cooked all the way through, so no blood or no pink.
Guys, I know that the grill-off is highly intense. I'm going to confer with Mark, and we'll let you know our judgment.
What I produced today was really good. To me, better than what Emma had cooked her steaks to the brief. So yeah, I'm hoping that it was enough, really.
I don't think I should have been here in the first place. I think there are other people that should have been here before me. So yeah, I think I should be going through, and I believe Gary will be going home.
Truly, of the two of them, it seems Emma, she's the one that has that beautiful dark char. That's
so important because it gives you that contrast of textures, but it also adds that beautiful caramelized flavor as well.
Now let's talk about the sauce. Gary made a chimichurri.
We saw him put the sugar in, but even so, there's a lot of vinegar in there. That's just a little bit overpowering.
I've been to Argentina, and most chimichurri, it's parsley, garlic, olive oil, and maybe they'll throw another herb in, but that's the backbone of it. Vinegar and the astringency of it, it doesn't seem to fit. Let's try Emma's. Last minute sort of hybrid of buttermilk, blue cheese, and pan drippings. That's really, really, really good. Bavette, I think Gary was a little closer in temperature. Filet, again, I believe Gary was a little closer in temperature. Ribeye, I think Emma was closer in temperature, and I think we both agree that Emma definitely has the edge with a much better sauce. In fact, the only successful sauce of the two. I think we got to come down to execution. Even if you've achieved the perfect internal temperature, Is it really a properly cooked steak if you don't have that char?
Things we lost to the flame.
Gary, Emma, it was arguably the closest grill-off we have ever experienced. The third person to leave Barbecue Champ is Gary. Gary, it's been an absolute joy to watch you work. You have a lot of culinary skill, and I, for one, am honored to have eaten your food this week.
I made it through another grill-off by the skin of my teeth.
I felt I'd done enough to stay in the competition following the grill-off. I cooked the food how I'd like to cook it. The judges deemed it Emma's was better, so I have to take it on the chin and move forward, really.
Now just 5 barbecuers remain in the battle to be crowned Barbecue Champ 2015. Join us next time to find out who will be going through. Until then, goodbye.
Cheers. Guys, raise them up. To Gary.
Well done.